So Blue Origin took flight. There's been a lot of debate online. So Blue Origin, if you don't know what that is, it is, what is this, is this Amazon's shit? Or which one of these rich niggas, billionaires, spaceship this is?
Bezos,
Jeff Bezos, Amazon. Okay. So the NS-31 went on its 31st mission in its new Shepard rocket. It was the first to feature an all-female crew, the 6 women aboard. Lauren Sanchez, philanthropist and partner of Jeff Bezos. Katy Perry, musician. Gayle King, journalist. Aisha Bowe, former NASA rocket scientist. Amanda Nugan, bioastronaut researcher and civil rights advocate. And Kerianne Flynn, film producer. Now, the mission lasted about 11 minutes. They launched from Blue Origin's West Texas facility, taking the crew past the Kármán line or the Kármán line. I can't pronounce that. That's the edge of space, and giving them a few minutes of weightless activity before they safely return to Earth.
Bullshit.
Listen, let's get to it, man. Real or fake? Did they go to space?
Hell no. Hell no.
All right,
I said this on this podcast. We ain't never been up there.
A lot of people say this.
We ain't never been up there.
It's funny. Did you send me the video of the guy saying we ain't never been up there?
Mm-hmm.
You sent me the video? Okay, I just walked up.
We don't know what's up there. Ain't nobody been up there, and you know why? Because you ain't supposed to go. That's why.
I'm gonna take the opposite side of this.
And what you got?
So there was some interesting points made. I was almost a James theorist this week. I thought this was a great question. Why they didn't wear full spacesuits? So I went and looked for the answer because that was one of the conspiracy things. It was
Bitch, your head gonna pop.
That was one of the conspiracy things. Now, this is how they explained it. It was explained. It said the women didn't wear full spacesuits.
Why?
Because the Blue Origin's flight was suborbital, lasting only about 11 minutes in a pressurized capsule. There was no spacewalk or exposure to the vacuum of space, so advanced suits weren't necessary.
I don't believe that.
Simple flight suits was enough for safety and comfort. Now, I do remember when Bezos and what's my man Elon, when they did their orbital thing and they had the camera in there, they didn't have on the suits either. I mean, personally, I believe space exploration is a real thing to me.
Bro, we ain't never been up there, bro.
I believe space exploration is a real thing. I got friends that don't believe it. I got friends that believe that maybe the satellites have made it up there, but humans have never made it up there.
So, bro, what?
This week.
Bro, they not doing shit like that in space, bro. You gonna fucking die. You gonna die.
But we don't know that.
You're gonna die.
We don't know that.
Bro.
We don't know that.
It's gotta be pressure. No, bro, I'm not doing this.
Okay, so explain the space station and the people on it.
Okay.
Are they on the space station or are they on Earth filming that they're on the space station?
Green screen. Mission Control, do you read me? That's a green screen. Them people ain't real. Nah, I don't know. I'm just bullshit. Now, I don't know. Boy, it take a lot to just do all that and just come up with some bullshit like that. It take a lot.
I got a random question because I do want to know. When did you say, like, at what point of your life did you say, oh, this is some bullshit and it's not real?
Who, me?
Yes.
I ain't even gonna lie, man. When I was younger, like 20,
okay,
I used to be like real locked into like church and stuff like that, and like
it always starts with church.
I know, but like even though when I was in church, like this may sound bad, please don't judge me. Even when I was in church, certain things that I used to hear, certain stories, I used to be like, it's got to be more to this. It's got to be more. There's no way you telling me, you know what I'm saying, that this is it. So first it started with curiosity with that, like trying to deep dive into more of the Bible. And then along the way with friends, they introduce you to certain things. And I just caught an interest for finding the truth, what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That shit just, I don't know. It does something to my spirit. I don't know. But uncovering the truth, I think that's what the real passion is it's just dope to me. I like to hear about things that happened that I wasn't there. And I want to know, possibly, is somebody telling the truth when they recant it, or when they come out and say, hey, this is history. Well, how do you know that? You know what I'm saying? How you know?
You don't.
You just taking that one person word.
You don't. But when does, okay, so my next point. What deems a fact to a person who doesn't believe what is deemed a fact? You see,
well, any
so and when I say that just means, like, if we had to do a project and we had to do research, like back in the day when we had to do projects, we had to do research, and I'll use like the history of our country, for example. It was told a certain way in school, but you can find the facts if you go through enough books. You can find certain facts that tell a different story from people that were either there during that time, or from people who study and write about those times. Right. You can discover facts in that way. But at what point in your research where you was like, okay, this fact is just not a fact? It's not true. Like, what backs up you saying this is not, like, where is the fact that backs up the fact that this is not true? I think that's what I'm trying to ask.
So it's certain, I guess along the way you hear certain topics and you choose what you want to deep dive in. Like, it's certain things you would hear and you'd be like, oh, I don't know, something crazy. Like, what's something that there's the moon made of cheese? Okay, obviously that's bullshit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's obvious bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't dive into something like that, but something saying like there might be a secret society where people get along and do things and regular people don't know about it. Just using this as an example. Mm-hmm. And it's been, even when you do your research on this certain topic, mm-hmm. there's things and I want to say breadcrumbs that lead to believe that it could be. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think that's the whole thing of it. Like, it ain't even the fact of, well, it is the fact that this thing is going on, because whatever it is, most of the time, if it's a conspiracy, it's something that's been doing wrong and they trying to cover it up. That's what most of the conspiracy lie in. Something happened. It wasn't supposed to happen. And now we got to cover it up. And just alone with our government, if you do your research on the U.S. government and how much shit they did through history, doing with these deals, these backdoor deals, how they bomb people, how they went against the Geneva Convention. You know what the Geneva Convention is? Convention is? No. That's the way you fight war. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to tell you, bro, if you just do your research on the U.S. government and the shit they did, there's nothing you telling me that they could put in front of me right now that you telling me that I can believe 100%. I can't do that.
I got you.
I can't do that. Just off y'all history alone. Off y'all history of misdirection and lying and doing it. And this is not something I'm coming up with. This is history of how y'all done nations, groups of people, for I guess your own needs or whatever. I don't know your needs, why you wanted to do it, but you did it. They did a lot of shit, bro. Whole bunch of shit.
That makes perfect sense. I'm not saying it don't make sense. I'm just,
So it'd just be hard for me to digest what they put in front of us sometimes. Just like with the vaccine shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for me to digest that. It was very hard for me to digest that.
I think when it gets into science and medicine, I think that's where it gets dangerous, because I'm not talking about COVID vaccine. I'm just talking about medicine and science, period. I think that's where it gets dangerous, and that's where lives start to get lost, because that's where I personally believe there are facts and there's fiction. And if you want to believe fiction, you might not live as long as somebody who's going to go dive into the facts. Because when it comes to science and medicine, like I tell my boy all the time, modern science is why we live past 50. So that's why I think it gets dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that the government never did anything to not earn your trust. I mean, to have your trust. They don't deserve to have your trust. They do all kinds of fucked up shit. But see, it's crazy when it's like, okay, but this you need to actually believe. That's why I say, when do we get to the point where, like, okay, this is a fact, but nobody even believes the fact because you did so much fucked up shit. And so now, like with the measles right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, the reason why people don't get measles is because of vaccines.
Right.
And how they work.
That's back when they was liking people, though.
But now people won't get the vaccine and kids are dying. So now what? See what I'm saying? Like, that's why I say it gets dangerous, because now people don't know what to believe.